been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
What's up, guys? It is Tuesday, currently the 28th, 6:57. It is a beautiful day. It's been a hot minute. A lot to go over today. Joe Burrow, Jamal Adams. A lot of people opting out in the NFL. Baseball has started, and a lot of stuff going on lately. And there's a lot to digest here, so let's get into it. Where do you want to start?
Well, it's weird because we haven't had a normal podcast lately. You know, we've been blessed with a lot of guests. We might have a guest call in tonight. We're actually waiting for a response from somebody who said they were going to come on tonight. As of last night, they said they were, so we'll see what happens.
So we're hopeful. But
we haven't talked about Dak not signing his deal, not getting a contract done. We haven't talked about baseball. Haven't talked about the NBA. The NBA hasn't had any coronavirus cases since they've been in the bubble.
What's funny is that a lot of our interviews, though, we are talking about a lot of the topics that are going on through the world. It's just we haven't had a just single podcast here where we're just talking nothing but the newest headlines. But a lot has gone on. Has Dak even signed his franchise tag yet?
He signed his franchise tag,
Yeah,
but they never came up with an agreement for a deal.
Yeah.
And they're saying that Dak's deal is going to probably pass Mahomes because they're saying between the next 2 years, Dak's going to make $69 million and Mahomes is going to make $63 in 3 years. So Dak's in the driver's seat. If I was the Cowboys, and there's a lot of rumblings about this now, I would give him that transition tag next year, not give him the franchise tag, and negotiate with other teams and see what kind of draft picks you can get for him.
Yeah, I was on Instagram the other day, and when you go on the Explore page, you see a bunch of crap. And I saw the rookies doing their Madden faces, and I saw CD Lamb. It looked nothing like him. Mm. And what I don't understand is, you have all these cameras pointed in front of your face, and as a creator, how do you look at the outcome and go, yeah, it's good enough? Yeah, I mean, it looks nothing like it. Joe Burrow's looked pretty good, so did Tua's, but CD Lamb did not look like him.
No.
It was crazy.
But I don't know what's going to happen with Dak. I don't think
Dak's going to be there.
I think he wants to get the free agency. I mean, you're a quarterback in your prime. He's easily going to make over $40 million a year with another team. He's not going to make that with Dallas, I don't think, anyway.
I believe there was a stat I saw the other day where when you have a quarterback in a situation where he wants this long-term deal and they don't get the agreement, and if a quarterback ends up going to a franchise tag, typically that quarterback's gone within the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Let's face it. Kirk Cousins was the first one to get a full guaranteed contract after playing the franchise tag role. Dak's going to be in that same situation, because if he gets that second tag, he won't get a third tag.
No.
There's no way Dallas is going to give him $53 million for a season. That would be almost $120 million over a 3-year period. They got to get a deal locked up. They can't do it anymore this year. I'm getting to the point now where I'm not sure there's even going to be football this year. From what you're seeing, I mean, I think 5 or 6 people now from the New England Patriots have opted out, which could be them tanking so they can get Trevor Lawrence next year.
Well, there's a lot of speculation on that. You have Marquise Goodwin. Obviously, the Eagles traded for him, which sucks because he's a good receiver that can go with Deshaun Jackson. But listen, his wife, man, they had 3 miscarriages.
Yeah, Dante Hightower just had a new baby.
He finally has a baby. So, I don't blame the guy. You know what I mean? You had to go through all this struggle, and now you have this crazy pandemic going on where you have the chance to bring that home to your wife and kid. I wouldn't risk it.
The thing that's really going to be interesting is these guys, they're not going to lose a year. This contract year will go towards next year's salary cap.
Now, how do they get paid this year?
They're going to get like a $350,000, kind of like a per diem kind of thing. That's what they're going to get.
Kind of like
an opt-out thing.
What was that? What was that thing that we were getting when we were getting paid? Unemployment. Almost like unemployment.
But yeah, it's not like unemployment. It's like an agreement they came up with where if they opt out, they get so much money. But next year, if the salary cap doesn't go up or the salary cap does drop,
which they're predicting,
all these salary caps are going to go towards next year. It's going to hurt a lot of teams. A lot of teams, especially like Dallas. Dallas is going to be in trouble. They already had 2 guys just opt out now. I mean, they're no names, but they didn't get that deal done with Dak. So
I don't think that's Dallas's fault, though.
Next year with the salary cap, man, they're going to have to dump people. especially if the cap don't go up.
I'd be nervous top down. Obviously, I want to protect my family, but at the same time, like if you're one of these guys that you've only been in the league for a year to 3 years, I don't want to lose my starting job. If you're somebody that just has that down by a little bit, but.
No,
There's a lot going on. I mean, we saw this with Mike Trout, too. Mike Trout, I mean, he thought about this for days. I mean, you have people like Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson who are even thinking about it now. I mean, that's big stars right there that will sit out.
Well, we'll get into baseball then. I don't think baseball's in trouble at all, but
could you imagine Aaron Rodgers sat out and Jordan Love came in and played?
Well, they're talking about Russell Wilson could be one that opts out because he just had a brand new baby.
Yeah.
So, you have to put what's more important in your life. And he doesn't need the
doesn't
money.
Need it.
He's got over $100 million probably already. He doesn't need the money. But there's a lot of players that they're going to have the opportunity. If football does go and that does happen, a lot of young guys are going to have an opportunity of a lifetime.
My thing with sports this year is if your team wins the NBA Finals or the World Series or the Super Bowl, does it feel like a real victory? Like, do you think people are going to give you trash for running around celebrating?
I would not care what anyone thought. We win it, we win it. That's what the cards were dealt us. That's what we have. Just like baseball, soccer, anything, NBA, no matter what it is.
Hey, I've been watching soccer, man. The men's soccer is in a tournament now. My team's winning.
The NFL had seasons where they had lockouts and they only played a couple games. Hockey's had lockouts. They had NFL where they had scabs playing. So, championship's a championship. It don't matter. Just like when we played baseball, it didn't matter whether it was spring or fall ball. Championship's a championship.
That's true.
But then Mr. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, just bought a share of the Kansas City Royals, which is awesome because his dad played for that team.
I thought, yeah. Well, his dad also played for the Twins, I think, too.
But
his dad. You think his dad played? He was a pitcher for about 13 years, so he's been around baseball. I mean, his whole life. So to be a part of that is an amazing thing. And you think about it, like, all that money. I want to know the numbers. I want to know how much he had to pay to get in there.
Well, we'll never know that, but
like
the thing is he's now a part owner. He loves Kansas City. He wants to be in that city forever. Doesn't want to leave it.
Just think he's gonna make more money now.
Oh, I heard dogs barking. I heard something in my ear. I'm like, what the hell is that noise?
He's gonna make a lot more money now. Yeah, that's a smart financial decision.
And everyone's saying that deal was a horrible deal for him. That his agent could have got more. I think between that deal and his endorsements, his kids are never gonna have to work again.
Yeah,
he's in great shape.
It's crazy, man. Obviously, we could talk about.
We haven't talked about the Washington Redskins lately. Washington Redskins, as you all know, they had to change their name. FedEx, which was paying over $204 million to sponsor the stadium, basically said they're going to pull their sponsorship off the stadium name. Nike came out. Pepsi came out. 40% of the ownership wants to sell the team. They can't decide on a name because there's a guy down there.
There's still a lot of shady stuff going on in that organization.
Yes. There's a guy down there that apparently bought up most of the names that they wanted to use, and I was negotiating for those rights for those names.
That's annoying.
So as of right now, they are called the Washington Football Team.
Washington Football Team, ladies and gentlemen. They took the logos off the helmet. All it is the gold number. They're keeping the color schemes, but it's weird. Looking at the photos, it looks like a college team.
If everyone was smart, they would buy up as much merch as they can because that's probably gonna be worth money down the line.
Yeah, you think about like we're gonna go into an age where, hey man, do you have that old school like during the name change?
Yeah. So
it was weird seeing those photos. They didn't have a logo.
Why don't they just put the Washington with a question mark and put a question mark on the helmet? That'd be pretty cool.
You think it's not gonna be that weird because you have teams like the Browns and Chicago Bears are just weird because sometimes they have a logo on their helmet and sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. But the Browns never have a logo on their helmet. They just have the stripes. Who's another? I mean, the Steelers have half a logo. I mean, so you've seen this before, so it's kind of cool. I think that the uniforms still look nice, but that team's not going to be good this year.
No. And like I said before,
I wouldn't want to be a part of that organization right now. I mean, think about Ron Rivera, the situation that he's in right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a new head coach thinking you're going to turn this organization out. COVID happens. Players leave because they want bigger contracts, so you lose some defensive key players. You have a quarterback situation where you don't know if you like him or not.
Well, now Alex Smith is back in the mix.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a second. And then you have, you have the whole Washington Redskins thing where you have to change your name, and then you have people coming out and saying sexual harassment in the organization. You have people saying that the owners are paying the refs.
They said it was a gentleman's club inside.
Yeah.
Now, everyone says that Snyder had nothing to do with it, which, you're the owner of the team, you're responsible for it, but they said it was a gentleman's club.
There's a lot going on there. And then Alex Smith can finally fully partake in practices and everything. Listen, I'm not
I don't think Haskins is ready.
I like Alex Smith. If you have seen his story on YouTube, this guy is a fighter. He's always dealt with a comeback. He's always been doubted. 49ers, he was a first-round pick. He got doubted. He was a good quarterback. Got injured for a couple games. Kaepernick took over. Got pushed to the side. Went to Kansas City. Winning quarterback at Kansas City. They got rid and put Mahomes over there. So it's a constant battle with him. And he was feeling comfortable. Dude, if you could see that image in that video of his
out
leg.
there too. Like, if I was the Redskins,
Jacksonville.
I'd be contacting Jacksonville and saying, hey, how set are you on your quarterback position? Alex Smith is back. We are looking to move him. Fourth-round pick, whatever for him.
He still get a lot of money too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Haskins is the answer in Washington, but I don't know if they're going to switch back now, because once you start a rookie quarterback, usually you don't go back.
What do you think? They started with Case Keenum.
Yeah, another place too. The Cleveland Browns. There's a lot of rumors out there.
Yeah, the Browns got Case Keenum and Baker Mayfield.
But there's a lot of people out there saying that this is Baker's last chance. This is his last chance to do something.
I don't know why people are putting so much pressure on Baker Mayfield. You have a guy who has not played that bad. I mean, look how many wins they've had in the past 2 years that they've had in 20 years.
Well, we get Hugh Jackson on tomorrow. We're going to ask him.
Like, my thing is, every team you get a new quarterback, they're not a winning team right away.
But
look at Deshaun Watson. Look at Russell Wilson. Look at these guys that come into the league.
Look at Cleveland.
They want to win. They want to win.
This is going to be Cleveland's year to find out what they have. They have a whole new line now. Yeah. And just like for the Cowboys, this is Dak's year. New coach, everything that they complained about, they got rid of. Mm-hmm. Now you have no more Jason Garrett supposedly dictating what happens as far as players coming in, as far as the playbook, the whole 9 yards. Now it's on you. If we go 8-8 again this year, I'd let him walk, or trade him, because now it's no longer the coach, the organization.
You guys are up there for how much players, salary your quarterbacks and your quarterbacks can pay. Because I think Andy Dalton was like $9 million or something.
Dude, Mike Fisher came out today and he had a plan how you can trade Dak away for 2 first-round picks or a first round and a third pick, save almost $30 million, sign the Red Rocket for like 15.
Well, he's already signed.
He's only signed to like $4 million. You give him an extension for $15 million a year, saves you a lot of money.
Red Rocket comes into town and wins Dallas the big old.
You take those first-round picks and you turn them into a quarterback.
Speaking of first-round picks, you have Jamal Adams, who we have talked about a couple of times. He's not garbage. Probably the best safety in the game right now.
He's more of a linebacker than safety. Let's get that clear. If you look at his stats for safety, he doesn't even rank in the top 5. He plays the linebacker position up on the line more than anything.
He's a great defensive mind, great at reading the ball. He's a great player. Obviously, he did not like the situation in the Jets. The Jets owner even came out and said that he wants people on the team that want to be there. Number one, nobody wants to be a Jet right now.
Well, let's face it. He had his best opportunity to get out of there. The owner of the Jets got caught up in some stuff. They had him bashed out on the news, and he came out and with both guns a-blazing, went after the GM, went after the coach, went after the owner. Best way to get out of a team. That's what you do.
Listen, you look at the Jets as a team. The Jets have decent talent. The Jets aren't winning anytime soon. You have Darnold and you have Le'Veon Bell. You got no really good defense, nothing really good offensive weapons. He went to Seattle, and that is huge for Seattle. My thing with Seattle
Jets won that deal.
Seattle gave up 2 first-round picks and a third.
Jets won that deal because let me tell you what. I could see him doing the same thing that happened to the Sixers. When the Sixers traded all those picks away.
Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm. And then he didn't resign, and he walked. I can see that because he wants between 14. He wants to be the highest paid safety in the game, which right now I think it's like $13 million a year. He wants to be from 14 to 20 million. You can't give him that much money.
If I'm Seattle, though, you have a good offense with Russell Wilson, good running backs, good receivers, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and you have a good young defense slowly building. If you can get Clowney back in there.
I would love to see what Clowney said today.
Yeah. We'll get in that second.
I wonder how much cap room they have left.
My thing is you need to lock down Jamal Adams because you just gave away 2 first-round picks. If you do not get that guy an extension, you will be laughed upon as a franchise for the next couple of years because that'd be the stupidest. Don't get me wrong. I've been the guy on this podcast that has said if you need that one more piece to go for a Super Bowl, you do it. But you need to lock him down.
I'm sorry. There's no such thing as one more piece. Look what happened to Baltimore. Baltimore was the best team in football last year. Got eliminated right away.
They didn't play as a team.
It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as that one piece is going to get you over the hump. You need the whole team to come together and get you over that hump. Ain't going to happen. And I have a feeling he complained to get out of the Jets. If they have a losing season, he won't be a Seattle Seahawk.
I'd love
And you
to
know,
bring
last
New
year
Orleans.
during the draft, when the Cowboys and the Jets were negotiating, he called up Cowboys players and said, "Get Stephen Jones on the phone. Get him on the phone. I want to be a Cowboy. Want to be a Cowboy."
I would have loved for him to come to New Orleans, man. He played at LSU. They played in the Dome with that defense. But we'll get now. You have Clowney, who was on FaceTime with one of the Jets. I don't know who the heck it was, and all of a sudden says now he's interested in the Jets.
Nobody's
Who the
interested in the Jets.
fudge wants to go play
No
for the
one's-
New York Jets
Nobody's
right
interested
now?
in the Jets.
It's cold there. It rains. That team sucks right now. Nothing against the Jet fans out there. I like Darnold. I think that they got some young teams, but
They're probably the only ones that could probably offer him a multiple-year deal.
dude,
but-
when you got teams like Dallas, the Saints, and Seattle who are interested in you, who are Super Bowl teams,
But they have no money.
why would you not want to go there?
Dallas has about 7 to 11 million in cap
And then you
space
have the
left.
Browns who offered you a legit. And I don't know
Multiple-year deal.
how the Browns offered Garrett such a big deal after everything that happened with him. I mean, he is your
Still-
first. He is
still
the
good player.
first overall pick, but
You know, he's the only player. I forget what the stat was. He's the only player to get a second contract, a first-round player that got selected by them
that was quick.
to get a second contract.
Well, speaking of first round talent, Joe Burrow today and the Cincinnati Bengals
36 mil.
agreed to a contract. 36.1 mil, I think it was 23 or 28 million dollar signing bonus. Imagine that in your banking account, man. $23 million. How you buy a new car, my new Chevrolet truck with some big old tires and a new
Well,
house.
the smart thing about these guys are get the deals done because you haven't heard anything about contracts getting done. CeeDee Lamb apparently got his deal done with the Cowboys, but you haven't heard any of these contracts getting done. What's going on with COVID? Dude, I'd be inking that pen, right?
Me
I'd
too.
be getting that freaking
Me
juiced up
too.
and signing that dotted line.
You offer me $36 million? Give me that pen. Sign it right now. Sign it right now. The thing with the
The
Cincinnati
deal
Bengals,
is a
man,
fully guaranteed rookie deal worth $36 million.
most rookie contracts are.
It's including a signing bonus of $23.9 million. Yeah, I would have signed that deal quick.
Cincinnati Bengals, you got AJ Green. I believe he signed his franchise deal. You have Mixon. You got Bell from the Saints for defense. I'm excited to see what some of these guys that are coming into Cincy can do for this culture. Cincinnati has been the laughing stock lately the past couple of years. Couldn't win a playoff games. Can't get to the playoff games. And you finally got not that I'm not I liked Andy Dalton. But you got a young stud in there. I think that this is going to be it's awesome. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's such a day and age where there's so many nice young quarterbacks like that are changing these teams that usually sucked.
Well, the thing is about
And
them.
it's cool to see. I mean, you see Cincinnati might change now. The Browns who suck, they've been starting to win. Like you see all these teams changing.
Cincinnati's going to have to score a lot of points because if you look at what they did last year, the points against was 420. That's the second highest in the AFC.
I bet.
Only one team was higher than them, and that was your Miami Dolphins at 494. So they're going to have to average probably 20-plus points, close to 30 points a game to be in games.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see Joe Burrow making a crazy change right at the bat, but I do want Cincinnati. I like the stories of teams that suck, and I'm curious. You see like the NBA and MLB have these bubbles, and I heard that the NFL is against the bubble, and I'm very curious as to why. Because
You can't. Where are you going to put them? Where are you going to
and
play?
there's so many players
But
too.
where are you going to put them? Where are you going to play every single team there? You would have to have weekends of football. You'd have to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like the NBA, they're playing like 3 or 4 games on the same court a day. Where are you going to put them? You can't.
You have to give a round of applause to the NBA because I don't think there's been one report of coronavirus.
No COVID cases since they've been in it. And they had people come out of the bubble. And that's the nice thing about them. They come out of the bubble, then you have to come back, but you have to go into a 10-day quarantine.
Now, the NBA they're staying in one state, right? And they're just playing different teams at the same
Staying in
court, right?
Orlando. It looks like they're playing in a gym, like a regular gym.
It's really cool. It's
is.
really cool. Now,
I
I'm
think
guessing it's not working with the MLB because they're still traveling.
MLB you can't put in a bubble. Just like the governor de Blasio, whatever his name is, of New York, said he welcomes all MLB teams to come play in New York. You can't.
No.
You can't have
can't.
every single team play in New York City. You know how many games you're gonna have to play a day? Can't do it.
I know we're jumping around here, but did you see that video of Simmons shooting threes
Yeah.
with the whole
I actually
psychologist?
shared that with a friend.
Dude, like I watched that practice video where he's sitting there in the court and he looked like Steph Curry practicing. He's sitting back there in the three and just shot after shot after shot. He's just making, and then he takes a shot in the game. And they're saying that this could be the best thing for people like, they said this, I heard this too, for Giancarlo Stan, Ben Simmons, people who don't typically do things because there's a crowd there. You don't have a crowd here, so Ben Simmons doesn't feel that pressure to take a three and have people boo him. Could you imagine you have Ben Simmons, a guy who averages about 30 points a game with no jumper?
Well, I'll tell you right now, this is the setup I would be in right now to go and do it. You had the perfect opportunity now. Sure, it means something, but not all the teams are there.
Yeah.
If you want to try it, now's the time to try it.
And that's what I said.
You got 8 games left before the playoffs kick off. Shoot them.
When does NBA's season officially start?
I believe Saturday.
Is that just scrimmages that they've been doing?
Yeah, just scrimmages now, and I believe Saturday it starts.
Gotcha. I was a little confused by that, but yeah.
Since you said about the COVID, hockey too is another one. No cases of the coronavirus, and they're playing in 2 bubbles up in Canada. They just the Flyers just took off. They're heading up there now, and the nice thing is like just like when the NBA teams went down to Orlando, every single player had to be tested as soon as they got there, and they had to be quarantined until they got the results.
Well, you have MLB's coming out now. And Jeter, the CEO of the Marlins, he came out and said, we have to test these guys every day now.
Well,
but what's funny is you can't get the test back in a day. They get them the next day.
There's only one team right now in the MLB that's in trouble, and that's the
Marlins.
And the problem with the testing, and this is the same thing that happened with the Yankees when Chapman got tested. Chapman got tested, they sent him back to practice. You should be quarantining these guys till you get the results. The problem with the MLB
can't, though.
You're not getting the results fast enough. You have to. You have to quarantine these guys. The Marlins' problem was they had 4 guys that were tested positive that were around the team. They had several people that were tested. They still let them play. They came back positive. Now they just infected 19 players now, and
That's
2
the
coaches
thing, though,
are infected.
You're doing these tests on players because they have to test them, but you don't know if they have it or not. So
it doesn't matter.
You can't make these players sit just because they're doing a test.
You have to.
But then the whole MLB would sit.
You have to come up with a plan where you test, like they're not testing everyone every day. It's like every day or every other day. You test such and such this day, they sit.
But they're testing but I think they're testing the whole teams every other day.
But you have to come up with a better plan. They have 30 additional players on the roster. Use them. Because
like with little games, I mean, you can't just test the whole team and then say, okay, we can't practice or play today.
But what happened to the Marlins was ridiculous. The Marlins and Mansfield knew that they had positive cases, and they still played the players.
Well, you got to think it's going to happen because they're in a bubble. So if one person has it, there's a chance that 85% of other people have it.
But they're not in a bubble. They're not in a bubble.
But you know, not like but you think about it, like they're traveling together, they're playing together. Like it's like a bubble.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ty, is they have to come up with a better plan. They really do, because now this just threw off the Yankee series with the Phillies because the Marlins were in there. The Yankees traveled down to Philly. They were going to use their buses as locker rooms. They were going to use the bleachers as their dugout because they didn't want to go in the room. But they got to do something now because this is the kind of thing that can throw the rest of the season off.
My thing is though is like there's nothing. I feel there's nothing I think it's like it's frustrating. It's like what can you do?
But why is it that the guys that get tested in golf, 90 minutes, they fly down like they just flew down to wherever they're at now.
Why doesn't MLB have that?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. They have to come up with a better plan because golfers when they fly to the next place where they're playing. They have to sit outside until their test results come back. They get tested. They go to the rental cars. They sit there until they get the results. 90 minutes later, they get either into the freaking clubhouse where they get warmed up and start shooting golf, or they're sent home.
What sucks, too, is you think about Juan Soto practicing with all his teammates for probably a week. Right before the game, they get this test back. He takes positive. In my opinion...
Yeah, but now the coach is sick, they think.
What's weird is you have to think about it like this. Okay, so he's positive, but he's been practicing with his teammates all week. Why can't he play? I'm asking, wouldn't it make sense just to let him play?
The problem is, I
guess you can affect the other team.
You can end up the same thing the Marlins have. Apparently, every other team is doing great social distancing. Freddie Freeman had it for the Braves. No other cases of coronavirus. Soto had it. No other cases of coronavirus. The Marlins, what are they doing? What are they doing?
But how do you? when you say no other cases, like, are you talking about like the other players might have had it and just didn't show symptoms?
There's no other reported positive cases, whether they're asymptomatic at all, on the Atlanta Braves or the Washington Nationals. Right now, Washington Nationals are playing Toronto right now as we speak.
At the end of the day, dude.
So each team is handling this different for some reason. But the Marlins are a mess. Almost their whole team has it now.
I feel like this is such a hard thing to like with baseball. Like I know you have to be as protective you can. Number one, wearing a mask in 90-degree heat, running on bases. I feel like it's crazy. You know, some players are wearing it.
But you know what kills me? They're using like 3 or 4 different sites for the test results. One's in Utah. One is actually the Rutgers. Why did it take the Phillies almost 2 days to get the results when Rutgers is like what? How many miles away from where the Phillies play?
If I'm MLB, I'm asking myself, you know, why are golf players getting tested in 90 minutes and we're getting them every other day?
There's
like, why isn't everybody getting them?
Each team has a team doctor. Why aren't they getting the results faster?
Maybe every doctor has a different view on this.
This
and
is
that's
a
why
billion-dollar corporation.
Man, I feel like it's such a tough thing because baseball as a whole, you're touching a ball, you're licking your fingers, there's so much going on. You know, you want to talk with your buddies. You're hitting. It's just, I don't know. But I wouldn't want to run this.
The thing is like the Marlins, they got stuck in Philadelphia the next day. Don Mattingly came out and said the last thing we want to do is get these guys on planes, fly them home to their families, and be around their wife and their kids.
And what's probably so hard to break yourself out of is high-fiving guys, you know, talking guys up because you're so used to constantly doing that. Like the NBA, you can't high-five people.
Well, who was it? Tampa Bay that had the walk-off, and they came home and they were all celebrating, and the league's cracking down on it.
And my thing on that, like, is if I've been with these guys for a month now, I would personally consider myself like I have a little bubble with them. Like I'm gonna celebrate with them.
Well, the thing that I think they had like 130 pages of coronavirus stuff that they had to follow.
Yeah.
One was no mound visits. Watched the Yankees game the other night. They had a mound visit.
I heard there was a coach that argued with an umpire and they stood 6 feet apart.
Well, the umpire had to put his mask on first. It was the Pirates game.
Yeah.
That's because was it Holland? Holland was in the dugout yelling or something at the umpire. Holland's the first guy to ever get ejected from a game from a new team that didn't even get to play yet.
Dude, it's weird. It's weird, you know, playing with a pandemic, and that's why I said from the get-go, it's gonna be weird having sports back during a pandemic because there's gonna be so many rules, and it's gonna be weird. Honestly though, like NBA, like it's kind of cool because you hear so much talk, and it's like almost like playing a 2K game. It's cool.
Well, you see, they have the virtual fans now from the 2K game where they're actually putting Dodger Stadium has them in the outfield.
Yeah, and pumping noise into the crowd.
I love it.
That has been such a success. What was I was one of the games I was watching the other day. It was a late inning, and the pitcher from the away team, you know, was pitching, and the home team had a chance to walk it off, and they were pumping crowd music, and like the crowd was going crazy, getting pumped. And they do a great job. Like, I don't know who's running those buttons, but, like, when somebody pops up, the crowd gets a little excited and goes, oh, you know what I mean? Like, home runs, like, people are going crazy.
The thing that cracked me up was, like, A-Rod and what's that other guy?
They're commentating at a broadcast.
Yeah, they weren't even at the game.
No one's there. They're in studios. I did tune into one of the National and Yankees games, and the two guys were there, but they had a spit and sneeze glass in front of them.
But the thing that, if baseball doesn't get their stuff together, because like hockey has no problems.
You gotta think
basketball has no problems.
When's there gonna be a stopping point?
There's no way in hell football's playing.
No.
I'll tell you right now, football will not play.
Because like you said,
because you can't
have a bubble with football. Cause it's not like NBA where they're playing in one unless the NFL divides in half and everybody plays in the same city.
But you're gonna need a city that has multiple stadiums.
I know. You're
gonna need at least 3 stadiums. So you're using college facilities. What are you using?
I don't know.
And look at all the outbreaks in the colleges right now.
Dude, it is a crazy time, guys, to be a sports fan. That's all I got to say, because I would not want to be running any of these teams right now.
But, you know, I'm glad
sports are back, but it's tough, man. It is tough to wrap your finger around all this.
And I don't think baseball is going anywhere. Yeah. I mean, unless
I don't think they're going to stop it. They have no urge to stop it right now because it's going.
Because right now, it's only the Marlins that are infected. Yeah. They're not playing again until Monday. I think the Phillies are off till Friday.
Spray the Phillies benches, clean it all.
The Yankees kind of got screwed now because they were supposed to play the Phillies yesterday and today. Now they're going to Baltimore. They're playing Baltimore tomorrow and Thursday, playing the Phillies Friday. So
and you know MLB's fine with it right now too because nobody in the Phillies got sick.
No, and everyone was tested.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing. No one was infected.
I want to know what tests they're doing. Like, if they're getting tested every day, like, are they getting it up the nose? Because I'd opt out.
Well, they got the mouth swab now. They got different test versions now.
I had to get tested. I had to get tested today to take a test, but I would opt out. I only got my temperature taken.
I would opt out. If they had to go up
if
my
they had to go up my nose every day,
times, I'm
listen,
opting out.
I've been watching a lot of videos on TikTok where these guys go through a drive-through, dude, and they tilt their head back, and it looks like the worst. These people, like grown men, look like they want to cry.
And that's another thing too. They're talking about the chance of some big name athletes opting out of baseball yet.
Yeah.
And I think football, if I'm not mistaken, I heard football players have a 7-day window whether they want to opt out or not. And once they opt out, they can't come back. But if they commit, they can't opt out.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's weird.
See, like,
football is a weird.
I was just gonna say, if I was a baseball player, and this started to happen more, like what's going on with the Marlins, and I just had a baby like Mike Trout, I'm going to my GM, my owner. I'm saying, listen, I'm done. I'm opting out for the rest of the year. I love this sport, but my family comes first.
Yeah. But baseball did happen.
It did happen.
The Yankees opened up against the Nationals. It was the highest rating for an opening day since 2011.
John Carlos Stanton was the first man to hit a home run in the first MLB season this year.
That ball's still going.
Garrett
Cole got his first one as a Yankee, even though it was a rain delay, and it ended after 6 innings. He had 65 straight innings with at least 1 K, and the streak was snapped in the 4th inning of that game.
Man, I love baseball. I love it. It's fun, man. Finally being able to, like, we don't have TVs at our work anymore. They cut all the cable because everything's going on their stadium, so I don't get to watch highlights. But turn your phone on, man, and just seeing that there's sports playing on now. No, but soccer has been really fun, man, because MLS has started, and I picked a team. I'm trying to get into soccer, guys. Applaud me. I know. I've been watching Orlando City do it.
Well, we'll be talking to Mark Sampson on Saturday.
Yeah.
Going back to England.
So they were having runs, and now the tournament started, and my team's been winning, man. So I'm getting into it, but it's nice to have sports back.
You know, the interesting thing about the MLB is how about all the big names that had problems pitching. I mean, Paxton barely went an inning. He got pulled. Corey Kluber
just tore something.
He tore a muscle in his shoulder, which is probably done. He's done. He's going to be done.
They say
he's
done for the season.
Yeah, but the thing is he's got an $18 million option for next year. They're not going to pick him up.
He just got there, didn't he?
Strasburg didn't pitch.
Oh, he hasn't started yet.
Ohtani struggled.
Wait. Okay, I couldn't think of what Ohtani was. Clayton Kershaw skipped his first day.
Ohtani didn't even have velocity. That's how bad it was. Verlander.
I saw that.
Kershaw, another one.
Kershaw only had back soreness.
But these are all big names.
I know.
And it's early into the season already.
Just makes it better for us, though.
You know, the Yankees went 2-1. But I tell you what, I have concerns. I have concerns already.
Who just went to Houston Astros? I just saw somebody get picked up by the Houston Astros. Oh, Fernando Rodney just got signed by the Astros.
He's been around forever.
That story continues for him, man. It's been a lot of teams in a lot of places.
But he's been around forever. But the Yankees, I have concerns already with the Yankees. I have concerns with Gleyber Torres playing shortstop. He's got trouble throwing.
I don't like it. Have you seen Andujar play yet? I haven't seen him play yet.
Yeah, he played.
Clint Frazier got sent down to Scranton.
If I was the Yankees, I'd be going after Trevor Story for next year.
Why? What's going on there?
Because he's a shortstop and he's going to be available.
Trevor Story is good.
He's really good.
Listen, I love...
Pick him up. Well, he's not. Who's he with? He's with Colorado. Pick him up, man. He's probably the best offensive freaking shortstop in the game.
Who's been playing second for us? Has it just been Tyler Wade?
Tyler Wade played. I think DJ played for a little bit too.
Because I know DJ's been playing first, and Luke Voigt. Voigt and Stanton look incredible.
Luke Voigt threw me for a loop. I forgot all about it. I'm like, who the hell's number 59 at first base? Yeah. And here he gave number 30 to Cole.
And I'm not talking about incredible as in like they're playing, but they both have dropped so much weight, and they look incredible.
My biggest concern is the amount of Ks we had already. And the lack of hitting. If it wasn't for Gleyber Torres the other day, if it wasn't Gleyber Day, we lose that game. Gardner's struggling big time.
I noticed that. I don't know why they sent Frazier down so early.
I don't know. They just sent him to Scranton, and he can get called back up at any time. But I think in a short season like this, if you're truly considering going for it all, then you got to pull it. You got to take Gardner, put him on the bench, bring Frazier up, or bring somebody else up, get him out there. We can't afford to have no offensive production from those places.
I don't even know who I would put at short, but I agree with you in the fact I don't Glaber has a good glove. He would be an amazing second baseman if we just keep him at second. Maybe even try DG at short. But I don't like.
You can put Andujar at third base and slide whatchamacallit over.
I don't know about that. I know what you're talking about. I always forget his name. We're terrible for this. What sucks for the Marlins is the Marlins, I believe, are like 2-1 right now. You know, I called that the Marlins and Orioles. You're gonna have these teams.
It's early. The Marlins played the Phillies. Let's get it going. Here.
Listen.
Get it
Joe
going.
Girardi has it under control. Let's actually look at some of these standings just to let you guys know. In the American League East, Tampa Bay is leading 3-1. American League Central, the Indians are up 3-1. The West, Houston Astros are tied with the Athletics 3-1. National League East, the Miami Marlins 2-1, taking over that division right now.
Yep.
Obviously, it's early, but you also the Central with the Cubs at 3-1. The West with the Padres at 3-1. The Padres look actually really good right now. They have a lot of good. We called this 2 seasons ago when they signed Machado. We said Tatis Jr., Hosmer. It's Hosmer, right? At first base. I couldn't think for a second. They have a lot of good talent, and they're going to start to become a championship team. And you're starting to see that. They look good. They look really good.
They do. They really do.
What were you going to say, though? I cut you off.
Gio Urshela is third base, and we also have Thairo Estrada that we can use, too, as well.
That's true.
So, you know, the Yankees do have options. And you got to get to a point where you're like, don't let anything bad happen. You got to get – because you have good teams behind you. You have Toronto, that's a powerhouse, and don't count out Tampa Bay. I know this is a short season; it's a sprint. You can't blow the season.
Tampa Bay, didn't they just tie a record the other day with like 19? Well, they had a certain amount of strikeouts the other day in a game that like tied their franchise record. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
I'll tell you what was impressive. Was it Carlo Carrasco from Cleveland that came back after battling cancer? He came back and he had 10 strikeouts in a game.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 19 strikeouts. They stood up against the Braves. 19 strikeouts.
Team I'm worried about, though, Minnesota Twins. They scored a boatload of runs in the first series that they had.
I'm a big Josh Donaldson fan right now. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, I predicted his contract. I predicted that he would have a prove-it year with the Braves, and I wish he would have stayed with the Braves, but he got paid. Congratulations to him, Minnesota. But I've been watching interviews with him where he describes how his view of hitting and the way this guy breaks down hitting off a tee, hitting off BP, hitting the game, it's incredible. It's incredible because some of the things that they teach you growing up, it kind of makes you put a big question mark over them because he's talking with MLB legends about how this old school hitting is kind of not what we need, like almost like that we need to evolve with how pitching's evolving. And I've been trying to practice some of this stuff, and let me tell you, man, it's an amazing feeling. He's a great hitter. He's a great guy. Just think, this guy was an MVP a couple years ago, and I think you're going to see great stats out of him. So, kudos to the Twins. I don't even know if I said the right word there, but
Kudos.
Kudos to the Twins.
Oh, you're a hot mess tonight.
It's hot, man. It's hot in this room. We need AC in this room, but I don't know.
Well, we're supposed to have a guest on tonight.
If not, listen, guys. Number one, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the love and support. Our numbers have been going up. What's funny is we used to only get views on YouTube. And what's funny is our YouTube views are so low right now because our other apps have been bombing. Like, not bombing,
Like we used
boosting.
to just get views in our area.
Yep.
Now we're being seen in Switzerland,
Yeah. A lot of views, actually.
France.
But what's funny is, like, we get, like, maybe, like, 10 views on YouTube because
If I knew how to say hello in France, I'd say it right now. But I don't. So hello, France.
Bonjour.
No, I don't know.
Isn't it like that? But, like, we have all of our apps. Like, you think Spotify, Apple Podcast, CastBox. We have, like, we are in, like, I want to say
And
at
shout out
least,
to Alex Evans for helping us with all those different.
we're on at least 10 different
platforms.
apps right now, and we're averaging 20 downloads and 30 downloads on all of these other apps. Like, we used to get 400 views on YouTube, and now they're spread through like 10 different apps. So it's amazing the love and support that we've been getting over the past month, and the athletes that we have been getting on.
Amazing.
We've been busting our butt with those guys,
And we don't do this for financial gain. We
Nope.
do this for fun. I mean, we were
It
offered
is
sponsorship, and we
nerve-wracking
Kind of.
waiting for these guys to call us, but we are supposed to have 2 athletes, possibly 3 on, counting today. So tomorrow we might even have a big one.
Well, I'm going to put the one on point for tonight. Put him right out there. We're supposed to have Jonathan Papelbon on tonight.
I totally called people. Yeah, we were supposed to have Jonathan Papelbon from Boston to Phillies. Obviously, sometimes you set a date and things happen. You lose communication.
Still might call.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just call.
But and then we have a big one tomorrow that I'm really excited for. But let me just check my messages. Maybe yeah, no. But you could.
Well, the only thing we can do is if he does call, we can just back on.
We'll just shoot the computers on real quick, but that's all I got, bro.
Well, yeah, all right, we'll do that. What we'll do is we'll keep this short and sweet for tonight.
And then if he does call, we'll just add it on.
We are planning on a guest.
Like we said, guys, thank you so much for the support, because what we used to have to what we have now, I mean, we have 10 blue checks following us on Instagram right now. It's a blessing in disguise. We have a couple more minor leaguers that we want to have on just to get an insight of what they're experiencing right now with no minor league baseball.
We're in negotiations with an NFL player who would actually make me cry when we played them. So hopefully that works out.
There's a lot of big things going on, guys. That's why I keep saying, stay tuned, because we're in contact with a lot of big names, a lot of people that play in the NFL, a lot of people that play in MLB. So again,
what we could do is we got to start bringing our friends back on too, because there's a couple out there especially that have been with us since day one.
Yeah.
You know who you guys are.
We thank you so much. Thank you guys so
much.
much.
Love to get you guys on again and just shoot the shit about sports and how you guys are doing and how you guys are feeling, because that's one thing about this. We haven't had, with the quarantine, we haven't had much time to go even see your friends and do things with people.
No.
But you're not forgotten.
Not again.
We are working on merch. Ty designed his shirt. I designed mine. They kind of messed it up a little bit.
No, I actually kind of want to design another one too. I like designing them.
We're not looking to make money off of it, but if you guys do want to buy, we could get you set up in the right direction where you can buy some merch. And we'll see what happens. But I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the night, but we'll end it here for now. And tomorrow we have a guest on probably.
It's a very long goodbye.
And Thursday we have 2 guests on.
We do.
We have Girls, Beers, and Sports. Love that.
Yes. So, guys, thank you so much. This will be up on all platforms. YouTube's always a day behind. Thank you guys for the support, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your week.
Peace.